And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies. Well, for those of you tuning in, obviously you're listening to this in the future. We're coming at you from the past. First ever interview we are doing at the Oakland Coliseum during a game, and why have it not be with the individual who also holds the record currently for most guest appearances on this podcast. It is episode 3 of Kickin' It with Kaval. It is Corporal RFA. Tito Soulchild joining me as boss man. Unfortunately had to dip out due to having work in the morning. And of course, joining us as always for this great segment is Oakland A's team president Dave Kaval. Dave, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Thanks for having me.
So, of course, last time we had you on the show was back in November. You guys had just made the announcement of picking the Howard Terminal site and also announcing the plans of having the redevelopment here. Just real quickly, kind of to bring everyone up to speed on stuff, what has happened between then and now as far as continuing the progression of making the steps towards getting the ballpark to be a reality.
Well, a lot of very positive steps. You know, we made the announcements in November with the 2 different projects, with the waterfront ballpark at Jack London Square, and then the adaptive reuse development here at the Coliseum site where we are. And in that time, you know, we've advanced 2 bills in the state legislature, which has been fantastic. We've come to an agreement with the county on purchasing their share of the Coliseum site here. And we have a port vote coming up on Monday of next week, on the 13th of May at 1:30 in the afternoon, where they're going to vote on the term sheet that we've negotiated with them. So we made a tremendous amount of progress. We have the CEQA process going in full effect, should be done around the end of the year. And we're on track for a 2021 groundbreaking and a 2023 opening of the new ballpark.
Tito, I know there's been some stuff you've been wanting to ask Dave over here, and I keep forgetting to ask him for you. So here's your chance. What you got for Dave?
Kind of put me on the spot there.
He's on the spot. He's on the spot. He's on the spot. Yeah.
Let me see. How confident are you that Howard Terminal is going to be a success?
You know, I think the downtown urban ballpark locations, if you look across Major League Baseball, whether it's Petco or AT&T Park or Jacobs Field in Cleveland, that's really been the best recipe for successful baseball. You know, it's like it's in an urban area. People can walk from where they're living or working, have a great time at the ballpark, make a spontaneous decision to go to the ballpark. And then the neighborhoods that sprout up around it, I think, are something that are really positive. And they really add to the character of the different communities like Fenway or Wrigley or around Petco. And so I think that's something that we're excited about, and that's why we love the location. And then I would say the final thing is, like, people just love to congregate at the waterfront. And Oakland has a great waterfront. You know, it's been cut off for a long time. It's not something that there's had a lot of public access. But, you know, our project is going to open that back up and allow people, both residents of West Oakland or regionally folks, to come out and have access to that incredible view of downtown San Francisco, the bridges, the cranes. It's really a dramatic backdrop.
One question that I get asked a lot by some people, and just one of the big things they want to know. It might be something you may have been asked already, so my apologies if this is being brought up again. Some out there want to know, is there really a need to have both the Howard Terminal project and the development here at the Coliseum? Or, you know, can one function without the other? You know, how you know, what's the best way you can explain to people that are...
Well, they're 2 separate projects completely. So, you know, we're pursuing our privately financed ballpark at Jack London Square at the waterfront. But we also felt in all the community outreach, and we're talking about 20 or 30 different community meetings, 10 or 12 salons on different issues, workshops, gatherings of people from East and West Oakland and the East Bay, that people didn't want us to abandon East Oakland. We wanted to honor the history here of baseball and professional sports. And so we wanted to advance a plan for this part of the city because we felt an obligation to do that and a responsibility, being the last professional sports team, to do that. And so that's why we were advancing that forward, and we're hopeful that the city mothers and fathers think that that's a positive development for our community. But you know, it's their decision to do that. We're going to continue to move forward with our plan, our 2 separate projects, and look to have success in both areas.
Got anything else you want to ask me before I go and unleash the fan questions?
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to try to, you know, and one aspect of that we've been trying to do a little bit more with the show is not just with you as well, but even with our broadcasts to try to get the fans more involved. So
I love it. I love
that.
We
shot it out there for the fans to send up some questions. So I got a few here from you. One of them here is from our friend Brian at Sandlot 408. He'd like to know, why aren't we making pins? So many great moments just passing us by.
I do love the pins. I mean, there's a guy in the stands I was with the other day. He had a whole pin jacket. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was homemade. And so, yeah, I think we could do a better job of having that, commemorating great moments, whether it was like last year when Sean Benaya had the no-hitter or, obviously making the playoffs last year or, players getting the gold glove. We even had the platinum glove for Chappie. So, I mean, all these things I think could be commemorated. I love the history that we not only have from the past, but that we're making every season. So I think it's a great recommendation.
Previn Nadu wanted to know, would the organization consider including the greats from the Philadelphia A's in the A's Hall of Fame when the new ballpark opens?
Absolutely. It might even be sooner than that. I think we want to look to our past in Philadelphia, all the great teams, the 5 world championships that we won there, Connie Mack, all these great players. So, yeah, I think that's something that we're very open to, and we would want to incorporate it in a thoughtful way. We have, obviously, Shibe Park Tavern. And in Shibe Park Tavern, we have artifacts from our Shibe Park, our original home, Connie Mack Field, who's also known as. And so I think we want to continue that.
Christopher Eckridge wants to know, will the A's at any point, either this year or most likely too late to do it this year, or any point in the future, would the A's be willing to host a WWE theme night?
You know what? Why not? I think that sounds exciting. I've seen my fair share of WrestleManias, and I think that could be tremendous. And so, and on that note, there's a home run.
Hey, way to go, Profile!
Yes. Bringing it.
A's fan radio exclusive right here. Like I told you all, first ever interview we're doing live during the game. So
we're there in the future and we're in the past.
Yep.
Amazing.
It's funny we're mentioning the future and the past since I just saw Endgame today finally, by the way. But y'all will hear more about that later on during the second half of the show. Turn Repair Baseball Podcast. They recently had your COO, Chris Giles, on the show. Chris, of course, was claiming to be a better hitter than you, and they want to know if you'd be willing to go head-to-head with Chris in the cage and live stream it.
I think he's much better hitter. I'll just concede on it. Yeah. But I'm a way better pitcher.
I Break Fours Winos, sorry, by the way, if I'm mispronouncing any of your guys' name out there. He wants to know, is there any truth to the rumors that Las Vegas is the backup plan? There's a lot of buzz here in Vegas about that, probably fueled by, of course, the traders, as some of us like to call them now, moving down there. Of course, he keeps telling everyone down there that the team's rooted in Oakland. So, I mean, obviously, you guys hear a lot of these rumors and distract stuff. So, how do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that must be because of the Raiders moving there. Obviously, we're completely focused on building a privately financed ballpark here at the waterfront in Oakland. We're committed to the city. We love everything about Oakland and what it means to us as an organization. This is just such a great community. The fan base is so knowledgeable and passionate about everything we're doing. And so, this is our home, and it's been here for 51 years, and we're going to be here many years to come.
Ricky S. wanted to know, or he says, loves A's Access and the podcast. Any other plans to expand their media reach, maybe weekly player or manager shows similar to like what's been done over on KNBR?
We want to do that, and I think A's Cast is a great vehicle for that. So we're very open to trying more content. I have a podcast called The Build where I do basically get interviewed by Townie, and so I think there's more and more that we can do with players, especially so fans get a better sense of who these guys are. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
Good friend of our shows, Shamon Williams, sent me this question a couple days ago. He wanted to know, I guess, with the whole concern out there coming from all the longshoremen and the opposition that you guys are kind of facing about their concerns of, we're going to lose our jobs and whatnot. What have you guys done to try to obviously address that and show to them that that's not going to be the case? Jamal feels that that you guys have proven and done your stuff, but he just, as he says, he would like to hear from the boss what's being done.
Well, I think it's really important that all the different stakeholders who could be affected either positively or negatively by the project have a way to give their feedback, and we can incorporate that in the plan, because the project needs to be a win not only for the A's but for the community and all the key stakeholders. And so we've done a lot to make sure that we're going to preserve, protect, and enhance the maritime capability of the port. So there are not only that the current jobs are protected, but they're enhanced, and that's everything from diversifying the revenue streams of the port with our deal, preserving the maritime reservation area so the larger boats could move around and turn. So there's a lot of things that we're committed to make sure that the project is a win for everyone.
I figured I'd save this one for last, a kind of little out of the box, out of left field question. You may remember back when the event went down at the Lake Chalet restaurant, I had a question that my buddy Alex asked you, which was about if you liked the band Tool. So he's got another music-related question for you. Alex wanted to know if you know all the lyrics to Freebird.
I do not know all the lyrics to Freebird.
Oh, man.
I can work on it. We're
going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Tito, any final questions you have for Dave before we get ready to kind of move for the night?
No, I think I'm good. So.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for, obviously getting the word on everything that we're doing. We have a rally coming up on the 13th of May to support our efforts to have the vote. And so we really encourage people to come out. And we're going to have free food and giveaways and speakers and just a great opportunity for folks to celebrate, A's baseball down at Jack London Square. And that's on the 13th at noon, May 13th.
Definitely plan on being there as well myself. Dave Kaval, ladies and gentlemen, episode 3 of Kicking It with Kaval in the books.